Alright, UFS community, this is Phil Birch. I'm going to be doing another content video. I know I've been gone for a while. Just been caught up in school stuff, Christmas stuff, same stuff that bugs everybody down during the holidays. But I'm back, and I'm going to be helping you learn a little bit about the life symbol today. Just like I did the good symbol last month, I believe it was. Give you an analysis of how life wins, how it's competitive in today's game. Also got this cool poster behind me now, so that'll provide a little bit better backdrop than a wall. I won it at Nats last year, and it's pretty awesome. King of Fighters stuff, got Kyo, all that junk. Alright, so let's get this kicked off. I'm going to start with the viable life characters, or at least the ones that I found to be at least semi-competitive. I'm going to start off with both the Angels, Alara and Srythe. They both have their own, kind of a unique play style between them, but they're all main goal is to get to the big angel, obviously. They do that obviously with their little action. I don't remember what it's called. I haven't played UFS in like a week, and I hate playing against the angels, so bear with me. Animate Fusion, that's what it's called. Sorry about that, folks. Obviously their game is a slower game. They want to lock down the opponent's good cards. They want to make it so it's harder for them to pass checks, and it's a really miserable game to try and fight out of. There are very few decks I think that just can straight up beat like the Angels in a fight. They're either really fast or really good at controlling the tempo and making sure they don't get out Omniel. And also the Angels can just kind of not get out Omniel. Sometimes it happens. It's just the consistency of their draws. Alright. So I think that's kind of it on the Angels. They usually run like Tribs, obviously, Zaps, stuff like that off of life. Their foundation base is kind of good too. It's just they can hide behind a life wall a lot better than a lot of characters. Alright. Next I have on my list Super Skullman. I think he is maybe not the best off of life, but I think he has some potential off of life as well. You don't really have access to like all of his tricks, but you do have Hunt for Jin, you have Breakfast still. You do have some good attacks in like Zing and Zap and stuff like that. So I think that a Life Skullman deck could compete. I just don't think people want to try it right now. Mostly probably because you can't use like a heavy action base in Skullman, just because of his 5-hand size. Next I have Ava, who is obviously just a powerhouse, a monster, crazy, probably one of the best characters in the game, top 5. And she can just destroy you with damage pumps. Destroy you while hiding behind life gain cards and defensive pieces so that she can't get like overpowered even though she only has like an 18 life. Not hard to kill, but if she gets set up, she can kill you very fast. And I want to say nobody has a good matchup against her just because of her quick kill capabilities. Even if Aspera could have some hard times with Ava life, I think. Next, a guy that nobody plays anymore, Mitsurugi. I don't know why you all stopped playing him. He didn't stop being good. Matter of fact, he's got actually better high attacks to play now. He can play cards like Zing. Trib's a high attack. Zap's a high attack. Full Moon's still a high attack. So I don't understand what happened or why everybody decided that Mitsurugi wasn't the play anymore. But I still think he could be one of the top characters, especially off of a life game. It's really easy to try and put it together, I think. And maybe I'll build one real quick for you guys some other time and post a video just to give you guys some ideas on how I would run him personally. Alright, next, Xianghua. Xianghua's really locked into her the Playful Slice kicks, but I still think she's good. She's topped a couple major events recently. Chile, I believe she was in the top cuts. I know she was in Canada. I'm pretty sure she was in the United Kingdom, or at least a kicks build of something. And she runs the researching for family, researching the past, searching for family kicks engine, obviously. And since Playful Slice is Xianghua only, she obviously runs that as well. Next, Kirk Fogel's favorite side deck card, Siegfried. Siegfried's got a good damage pump on him. He's really good meta choice against decks like Vespera, just because Vespera doesn't share any symbols with him. So you're getting +3 to all your attacks on just a 4 check. He's a little bit safer than Mitsurugi because you don't have to destroy your foundations. And you can also add that extra symbol for like a +4 damage pump. He's good side deck mostly because if you do run into those matchups, like if he's playing against King, he shares 2 symbols with King. He shares 2 symbols with Skullman. You want to kind of get out of those matchups. So you'd switch him out for something, or you would start with somebody else and switch into him. Next, everybody's favorite champ card, probably the best one out there, Mike Lowe, who admittedly was the most underhyped of all and turned out to be probably the best. He's just nuts. I mean, he's got the same thing he can do in good. It's just on life he can ready all his good cards. He can ready he can do the kick stuff. He just can't play Playful Slice. I mean, he was admittedly better before the Playful Slice errata, but he's still very playable. And he can just do a lot of nutty things. He can ready all of his pieces, and that's just always good. Excuse me. Sorry. Next, we're gonna go with the Mai's. Both of the Mai characters I admittedly don't find to be very good, but I know that they can get rolling and they can definitely put out some damage. If you do stack a couple of the Stacker Mai, you're putting out a ton of very hard to block attacks, or at least to your hand size of ton of unblockable attacks, pretty much. You can poke them with throws, stuff like that. It's just really good. And then the other one's just a 3/3 pump. And a 3/3 pump's never bad, especially when you can life gain off of it, and off the life symbol you can ready it with quick exit and stuff. And that's just really strong. And then finally, it's kind of like the Dark Horse character that nobody uses, admittedly, and I don't know why. I guess because they think discard's really prevalent, or anti-discard rather. But Kashiri. Kashiri can off life like outright discard your whole hand and probably one attack. You have cards like a New Discovery, which can outright just take away 2 cards from your opponent. Then you have, what's it called? Needs a Challenge, Keeper of the Watchers, Just Kidding, Full Moon Disembowel, Taiwu Kick. All those cards just destroy your opponent's hand. And Kaplau even now. It's like, I could see her being very good. I just don't think people want to try it or mess around with it. And I'm not sure why. I guess they're really afraid of discard, but I don't think, or of anti-discard rather. But I don't think anti-discard is really as prevalent as you think. And it's with some of these cards you don't have to discard, so it's not like you're forced into these things. Like Kaplau, you could reveal their hand if you see it, then you're not discarding their hand, obviously. But that's enough for the characters. Next, we're going to move on to foundations. I'm going to start with the Zero Diff. There's only one of them. It's a Hero's Training. It's really, I don't think it's a niche card, but I don't see everybody playing it. I think it's really cool. It's just the luck factor of it I like a lot. And then its response is alright, I guess. You can gain life, and life does a really good job of gaining life now. You have a couple good cards that can gain you life back that are reusable. So, maybe a sleeper card, maybe not. No block. 0-5, I still like it. I run it in pretty much everything I can. Next, I'm going to go into the 1 difficulties. I just really, really narrowed it down to a bare bones list of just the top ones, I think. Because there are still a couple I didn't name, or I didn't put on here. I've got Rebirth. Rebirth is really good. Rebirth is a good counter to Vespera. Stops the paralyzing touches from hurting as much, from stinging as much. And just some other destruction cards. They are out there, and it does a really good job stopping this. No One to Talk, obviously one of the biggest problem cards in the format. Pretty much stops your opponent's turn in multiple copies. Really tough to deal with. Something I'd like to see go. And it's too undercosted. It's way too undercosted. Next, Quick Exit. Quick Exit's just pretty good to, it readies some of the characters that need to commit themselves. I mean, I'm not saying all of these characters I named would play it, but there's a couple that would. And it can also ready some of your other pieces. And on a 1/5, that's not bad. It's not bad at all. Next, Torn Hero. Another problem card in the format. Really hurts Stun, hurts Vespera, which is good for it, but unfortunately it makes characters like Paul Phoenix, I mean, like, just not very good. Because you have to, with Paul Phoenix, you might have a very good matchup against Vespera, but if you run into Torn Hero in 95% of the other decks, you can't really do anything. So I'd like to see it go. There's also like Perfect Sense of Balance can fit right into the life symbol, and it's still very very playable off for anti-stun. Next, I'm going to go to the 2 difficulty foundations, which they have a lot of good ones. I'm going to go with Weight of Memory first. Weight of Memory is another like a counter to draw cards. Once they draw a card, you can blank one of their cards and draw a card as well. So it's a direct hard counter to Financial Troubles, because you can respond to them attempting to draw. You draw a card, and then you can either they activate Financial Troubles. You draw your card in response. Then you can either choose to discard a card or let them draw 2, and then you can turn off their other Financial Troubles if you want to. So it's just a direct counter to Financial Troubles and other draw cards, obviously. I'm trying to think if it has another effect. I don't think it does. No Sympathy is only 2 effects. No Sympathy is next on my list. Really good life gain out of First Enhance, especially in like a throw deck, life throws deck. Discard a momentum, gain 2 life, draw a card. Very simple, very straightforward, very good. It doesn't have a block, which is its downside, but it also has an effect where if your opponent negates one of your abilities, you can commit 2 cards in their staging area, which is good, because obviously Revoke and Damnation and stuff are floating around in the format. And it'll make them not want to commit or discard. It will make them not want to negate your effects, especially if they're afraid of you committing some of their good cards. Alright, next I've got Coolness. Coolness is a niche anti-discard card, but it's really easy to fit into a deck just because it's a foundation. I admittedly don't know what its exact effect is, but I know it's very good. I believe it's, what is it? It's destroyed after your opponent will make you discard cards, draw 2 cards. I don't know what its other effect is. I'm sure it's playable, or at least moderately alright. But I've seen this card for like the first time at CanNats, and it was pretty cool. It's pretty cool to just see in somebody's side deck. Next, Searching for Family. Kicks draw, obviously. Niche card. I don't really like it, but it's there. Excuse me. I'm apparently a little bit under the weather, and I didn't know it. Next, I've got Looking for a Thrill. Just a great 2-way damage speed pump. Damage or speed pump. Response off of either a damage or a speed pump. Really good in just those aggro life decks like an Eva deck, because it provides you the speed you need for your attacks to get pushed through. Next I have Memories of a Nightmare. Great card. Always been a great card. I've pretty much played it in every deck I could, especially like King and stuff. It turns off death cards, turns off evil cards, turns off void cards, and those are a lot of the good control-y cards in the format. So they're the cards you want to turn off. Also has a random +1 or -1 damage pump, which comes in handy a lot, especially since the card doesn't have a block on it. So if you have multiple copies out, you can reduce their attack's damage, which could save your life. Best damage pump in life right now, probably Regretful Existence. I've got that on the list. It was really good in life kicks, really good in life throws, really good in pretty much any life deck. It also has an anti-destruction effect on it, but yeah, I don't really need to go too in-depth on that. You guys know about that one. I like Genius Alchemist. That's the next card I have on my list. Genius Alchemist takes a card out progressive difficulty. Pretty vanilla effect, but I think it's very beneficial, especially if you're playing like a Zing deck, because you're going to want to try and get those Zings out quickly and efficiently, and sometimes you can't pass 5, 5, 6, 3, 5, 5 as an example, and you're going to want to take that down a little bit. That way you don't have to commit all those cards. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's good, but it has its place. Next, Researching Anywhere. Another niche draw card for life kicks, pretty much. But I'm not going to go too in-depth. I'm Not a Doll. Secretly probably pretty good. Especially in throws or angels. Or angel throws. Because you can pick up Revoke, Templar, Animate Fusions. Life has some of the best action base in the game, so it gets you a lot of choices. Next, So Sweet Ridiculous. New promo card. I shouldn't say new anymore, but it's just very good. Returns attack to printed on speed and damage. Has a low block. 2/4. It's unique, but it's still worth probably about 2 or 3 of it in a deck. I know it's one of the harder cards to get out of the promo batch. I'm sure people are trying to scramble around for him still. Not positive, but maybe. Next, I've got on my list Red Horizon. It's kind of a sneaky cool damage pump. Like, you wouldn't think of it as great, but like Life has a lot of really small attacks, and all you have to do is double the damage. So if your character has like a built-in damage pump like Mike Lowe or Ava, it's really easy to use it. It commits itself. Then you can choose to ready it, so your next attack has another damage pump on it as well. Very, very cool. It has another effect on it that's, or is that the other? I don't know if it has another effect. I'm not going to try and go too depth into that one, because I don't actually know. Next I have Perfect Sense of Balance. I talked about that already. Just to counter to stun if they take Torn Hero out of the format. I just want to give you an option to let you know that it is still there if and when they take out Torn Hero. Flex Body, very good card. It's a substitute for a block in Life, and that is very very good, because a lot of these cards I've been telling you don't have blocks on them. And at the cost of a momentum, it's not a steep cost, especially with all the throws running around. My next card I have, next couple cards, are personally cards that I like. They don't see a ton of play. First I've got Peaceful Messenger. We call it Karibo. I've mentioned it in a couple of my other decks, but you just block with it and you take no damage. It's like playing Strange Fashion, except it's balanced, and Strange Fashion's not very balanced. It stops the throws. It stops you from taking the extra damage if you can only half block. And it has a really good damage or speed pump on it at +2. Next, Rejuvenation. I'll admit I was a little late to the party on this one. But commit it and another foundation, your next attack gets +4 speed. And what's not to like about that, honestly? That's a lot of speed. Like I said, niche card. But like in Ava, you give your next attack +4 speed. Then you can give it +4 damage by destroying the Rejuvenation. That's kind of nuts. Or you can commit your Regretful Existences, stuff like that. Just very solid all-around card. Next, I've got Needs a Challenge. Just let you see your opponent's hand and then change the zone of your attack. And hand knowledge is very good in every game. It's not very prevalent in UFS, but it's very, very good. I'd like to see people play this more, but I don't think people are, I guess, on that level. They'd rather their foundation do more than that, and I guess I understand to an extent. Another kind of niche card, Meddling with Higher Powers. It's a little bit of a funsy card, maybe a side deck card. But it lets you, on your kill turn, they can't stop you with that one problem foundation. Say they have a Sweet Ridiculous, you take their Sweet Ridiculous. They can't stop you now. It's just very good at stealing uniques. But I wouldn't recommend doing it all the time, because it's something that they could just steal your good cards next. And you could do like stealing tradey wars. It's weird. A card that's kind of fallen out of popularity, a Raid for Battle. I guess it's because Life isn't really a combo mechanic much anymore, but I still think it's pretty cool. It has its spot in some decks, like a Full Moon deck would play it, and stuff like that. Alright, I'm going to move on to the attacks now. There's going to be some pretty obvious ones, stuff like that. I want to start with kind of the kicks. I want to start with the kicks, because I'm not going to give the kicks very much time, but I want to just throw out a couple of names of the 3-4 big attacks that are kicks that I could think of. Splam doesn't count as progressive difficulty, lets the kick string continue. Really helpful in Zhenghua, I'd say. Next, Double Tap. Double Tap multiples itself out. The multiple obviously is not a kick, whatever. They're slow, but it generates its own momentum, so it's useful. Fruit Picker, high cost, high damage. Pretty vanilla, honestly. It has a speed pump on it, but overall just vanilla. Leaping Snap Kick, good disruption. Probably what no one to talk should have been a balanced card, but you know, whatever. Alright, so that's the kicks I thought of. Now let's move to the actual attacks, like the ones that people care about. First off, Divine Tribulation. Super good. Multiple, high attack, 7 damage, no block, Desperation 3. Gives itself speed. Just profit, pure profit, honestly. Next, Death Valley Faceplant. Card I like a lot. It gives you the extra commit, gains you some life. I like life gaining mechanics right now, so I try and fit the life gain cards in where I can. Plus, it's got really good stats: 3 speed mid, 5 damage. Good stuff. Spinning Necro Driver, probably the best life attack in the format, in my opinion, just because it does so much. It has multiple. It's a throw. It's got the anti-asset effect, which is very, very good. And obviously can be very disruptive, especially for like a Vespera or anybody that runs off of their asset. Next, my favorite card in the format, I've said it multiple times, Zing. Zing is so cool. It's so fun to try and do. The guessing mechanic on it for a damage pump is fun. It's just really cool. I think you guys should get like 12 copies. Should run 12 copies. I have about 12. I have 12 copies, yeah. I'll admit it. I love Zing. I'm hoarding them all. Next, underplayed throw, close throw. You guys remember this still in the format? Stun 2 throw, 4 speed mid, 4 damage. Has a static that's pretty alright. I mean, it seems like people have forgotten about it. I don't know. Just wanted to bring that one back to your attention. Kaplow is next. Kaplow is big as hell. Big ass reversal. Lets you see your opponent's hand. Next card ignores progressive. Super good. Heavily costed. I'm totally fine with it. It's got desperation, I think. So, just get your ass beaten and throw it, I guess. Zap. Zap is sweet. Zap is like base 6 speed mid, or 6 speed high, 5 damage, stun 1. Super good. If your opponent's playing stackers or you're playing stackers, gets bigger and bigger. 2 mid block, ranged. You can use your old range keyword thing if anybody ever remembers to do that, which they don't. In case you don't know, I'm going to let you know this right now. Ranged attacks can block other ranged attacks as a +0 mid block. So your block modifier on your ranged attack is now +0 if you're playing against a ranged attack. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't do that. I don't do that because I forget. And I am a good player, I guess. I don't know. I would call myself a pro if this game had pros. Next, Harnessing Chaos. Probably one of the least balanced cards in the original Red Horizon, but it's still pretty cool. It's a very good anti-Vespera card. It helps against her. Makes her block twice at least. It makes your opponent hold on to more cards. And if your opponent's holding on to more cards, chances are they're not killing you, which is good. And if they don't hold on to those cards, then you're going to smash their face. And that's a fact. Next, Full Moon, Disembowel. It's fallen out of favor, I guess, with all the other cool attacks that have come out. If you didn't notice, most of the attacks I named came out of Red Horizon 2, so... But I still think Full Moon has a place in the game, and it's a very good place. It lets it change its self-zone. It has a damage pump. Its combo is very easily met, especially in life. So, just give that a thought, I guess. And my last card's really niche. I don't think anybody plays Genesis anymore, but it's a really cool card, I think. It justifies its 1, and it gains you life, and life gain's always cool. And I named about 6 life gain cards, so you gaining life forever. So, never bad. Alright, I'm going to move on to assets. I only have one of them. I think their asset choices are pretty ass. I just put Drossel on the list. Just a speed pump, a little bit of a burn effect, and just this pretty solid card. I don't know. I wouldn't call it broken, but I would just call it solid. Next, I'm going to move on to the actions. Revoke, super good. You need like 4 of them. You have to own them. Go buy some now. Get money from your parents. Obviously, it negates the Enhance, which is a super good card. It clears itself from the card pool. And turn 1, it becomes a 0 difficulty foundation. And you want to get at least 5 cards out turn 1. You want to try that. That should be your goal. Your deck should be able to try and get out 4 to 5 cards turn 1. If you don't, you're going to fall drastically behind, and that sucks. Templar next. Templar, best block in the game. It's got Breaker, draws you cards, gains you life. Not much else to say. Misstance, probably a very good... It's a very good action. I haven't seen it a lot in life. Life has a lot of high attacks though, guys. Life high throws is a real thing. Cobra Clutch is high, Zing's high, Spinning Necro Driver's high, and you can play Full Moon Disembowel. And you're doing a lot of damage. I'm just gonna throw that one out there. I'm gonna let you guys make the list. But I'm giving you that one. That's a gimme. Quick Strike into Full Moon's always good. Quick Strike gives +2 to your check, +2 to speed, +3 to the damage. Sweet. I like it. I'd play it, but I don't tend to find space in a lot of decks. I played it in a really janky my deck I had though. And finally, Acrobatic. I don't know if you guys have, forgot about this card either, but it's a solid side deck card. Sorry about shaking the screen there. I had to bang that one home by pounding on the table. Enhance, switch the speed and damage of this attack. Okay, so you're going to kill your opponent, they flip it, you lose. It also stops low multiple attacks. Any multiple that's mid or low, if you block with that, it discards them all. It's got +1 low block, so it's an easy block to make. And I think it just fits really easily in a lot of side decks. So, I don't know. I feel like I've given you a lot of choices for side decks, characters, and stuff like that. So, I don't know. I feel like you should all be able to go out and build a consistently pretty alright life deck with the knowledge I've given you. And like I said, there's a lot of one diffs I didn't mention, a lot of cards I didn't mention, just because I wanted to make this video less than 30 minutes, and it's still going to be 30 minutes almost. Anyways, that's all I have for you. I'm sorry it took so long to get you this video. I hope this prepares you for your nationals. I would have loved to get this out for the Chile guys right before their nats, but I'm sorry it took a little bit of time. As always, hit subscribe, tell your friends, and I'm going to try and help you guys become the best you can at this game. And yeah, I guess that's it. I'll see you guys in the arena. Later.